Mesa in those
I remember
days.
them.
And he said, for Christmas, I'm getting you your first gun. And he said, you can buy any gun in this store. And this wasn't too long after the cotton deal where he couldn't pay me because the price of cotton went down. So I was determined to buy the cheapest gun I could find in that store. I appreciated that he was going to buy me one, but I didn't want him to spend much. And I looked through them all. They had some really nice shotguns, especially. But I bought a Winchester Model 39 single shot 410. It was the cheapest one in the store, $24.95.
Wow.
$24.
95 cents. I still have it upstairs in that gun
You
cabinet.
still got it, huh?
Yeah. I was not quite 10 when I got that.
Can you get 410 cartridges now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still can. Anyway, to finish that story, Lanny wanted to go after Christmas and I could open my shotgun. He and a friend of his named Doyle Hargis from out at Queen Creek wanted to go dove hunting. And there was a grain field that had just been harvested about a mile east of our farm on Baseline Road. And so that's where we went. We knew there'd be a lot of doves there. And they were just flying everywhere. I think I actually got one or two of them, even though I wasn't familiar with how to shoot a shotgun very well. And we drove Daddy's old, I think it was a 49 or 50 Chevy pickup. And the three of us rode. I was in the middle and Lanny driving and Doyle on my right. When we finished, I thought I'd unloaded my gun, but I was so excited about having a gun and all, I probably didn't. And we were driving back towards our farmhouse, which was them. Daddy had built us a new home on Val Vista Drive, quarter of a mile south of Baseline. And we were driving on Baseline about a little less than a quarter of a mile from Val Vista, headed home. And Lanny said, "Did you unload that shotgun?" And I hesitated, and I said, "Well, I think so." He said, "What do you mean you think so? Did you? Didn't you?" I said, "I think so." And he started trying to unload it for me while he was driving. And he pulled right into the ditch. It was, the ditch ran along the south side of Baseline Road. It was about 15 feet deep.
Whoa.
But there was no water in it that day, fortunately. And he drove through the ditch bank and it just rolled over upside down and fell into the bottom.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
And I think my shotgun went off. So there wasn't
Why
much.
kids should not have guns.
But we were all alive when we overcame the shock of being upside down in that truck. And Doyle climbed out first, and then Lanny pushed me out, and then he got out, and I pulled my shotgun out. It was something had caused a chip where the hammer, you pull the hammer back, it's just a single shot. You pull the hammer back and shoot it. But there was a chip out of the stock right there, about that long. And it's still there. You can go up and look at it. It was from that accident. Boy, we thought my dad was gonna be fit to be tied. We were thinking we'd get a belt taken to us or a rubber hose or something, because he was pretty good at all of those things. But we told him what happened, and he was calm as could be. He said, well, all three of you boys look like you're okay. And we said, we are. And he said, that's all that matters. We'll just call Tom Clement's garage and he'll get a tow truck out here from Gilbert and get that truck out of the ditch. He never said another word about it. Not a harsh word.
When you went on your mission, did you have to be interviewed by a general authority?
I didn't have to, but I asked to.
Oh.
We were in the final session of that week there at the old mission home. And all week long, they had preached repentance. It got so bad that some elders left and went home because they were harping on repentance so bad, and they were saying, if you have anything you haven't confessed to your bishop or stake president, now's the time. This was the last speaker. Can't remember who it was, but he was a general authority. He said, now's the time, because if you get down there on your mission, your conscience is still bothering you, you're going to be a lousy missionary. And he said, we've arranged for all the general authorities to be at their desk, all of them that are in town, over in the old church office building. As soon as we finish the closing song and prayer, if there's a few of you that want to go across the street to the old church office building, just give them your name and they'll appoint you, assign you to a general authority and tell you where his office is. So they sang the song and said the closing prayer, and there were 500 elders there. He said, a few of you may want to go across the street, clear anything up. All but about 5. And that 500 went across the street.
There
It
were
was
500 there?
500 were there.
Ooh.
And it was a traffic jam. They held up traffic for 10 minutes with elders going
Crossing
across
the street.
Oh.
And I was ushered into LeGrand Richard's office. And he said, well, Brother Crockett had us, Elder Crockett had us seat. Where are you from? And he asked a few things like that. And what mission are you going to? And I said, Northern Argentina. He said, do you have anything to confess? And I said, yes, I'm afraid so. He said, well,
No, I'm good.
I don't want to hear it. He said, let's just assume the worst. Let's assume you had sex with every girl in your high school. He said, would that cover it? I said, I wanted to say that's way too much. He said, that more than covers it. He said, that's all that matters. It covers it. He said, I don't want to hear it. Won't do me any good. He said, I'm an official judge in Israel, as one of the 12 apostles. And on behalf of Jesus Christ, I'm going to tell you this. Your life looked like this, perhaps. And he scribbled on a white piece of typing paper and just scribbled all over it. And he said, let's say that represents what you didn't confess. He said, and turned it over and he said, this is your life now. Everything else is forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you be a good missionary and don't ever worry about it again.
Hmm.
But don't repeat it. And I left his office. He gave me a big hug and wished me well on my mission. I think I flew back to the mission home. It was such a relief.
No, I'm talking about when you went on your mission. Before you went to be interviewed, did you have to be interviewed by a general authority?
No.
I did. I had to go. It was interviewed by my bishop. Then I had to drive to Snowflake. No. Yeah, Snowflake. And be interviewed by the stake president. And then I had to drive to Phoenix to be interviewed by Delbert L. Stapley.
Hmm.
And I went to his office at the O.S. Stapley
Yeah.
headquarters building. He had a big, nice, fancy office in there.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that. They must have changed their policy.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go get a little applesauce for that ham.
Can you get through there all right?
Yeah.
Do you guys have one of Dad's books?